Hi guys, my name is Pawan and welcome to my YouTube channel buildingyourdreams.com. So today we'll be basically discussing about how to write a resume. So in our previous video we discussed about how to write a letter on job application. So along with the letter, it's very much important that you are supposed to submit your resume. So letter is basically understanding about what you are and for what post you want to apply. Everything in detail will be just mentioning in the letter. Further we'll be continuing with your resume. This is the part 2 video. So in case you have not watched the part 1 about how to write a job application, kindly go through it and then please do come back to this part 2 video. I shall also be giving the part 1 video in my description box. So please do take it from here. After looking at the part 1, please do come back to our part 2 video. Now further discussing about how to write a resume. Give the heading should be in heading resume. It should be the center aligned. It should be centrally aligned in your entire page. It should be basically centrally aligned. Resume, it should be in center, and then you're going to write your name. You are supposed to write like normal. Most of the time students basically write directly your name, but just try to mentioning that name. After that, write your name or so and so XYZ. Write the address. I'm just specifically saying why, because most of the students make this continuous mistakes. That's the reason I'm just repeating it. Address. After writing address, write your address. Date of birth, write DOB. Then you write your date of birth. Then father's name, so and so ABC. Gender, first you're supposed to write gender, 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 male. Same thing applies for all. Nationality, Indian. Contact number, so and so. And then you're supposed to write your email ID. And then formatting changes in the next 3 category. It's basically about after writing your following category about your name, after writing resume, then your name, address, date of birth, father's name, gender, nationality, contact number, email ID, and then after that you're going to level line, and then further you're going to write objective. Objective is nothing but for what objective are you joining this organization. For example, I've written over here to effectively utilize my communication skills and contribute towards the growth of the organization. That's my objective. For example, you want to work as a technician in so and so company. You can just mention it as to effectively utilize my technical skills to contribute for the growth of the organization or institution, whatsoever it's asked in the question. So we are basically related to the question which I got in this resume, as we already discussed about. Basically this resume is about we are writing a letter on. It's basically an application for the post of public relation officer at the Apollo Group of Hospital, because we discussed this in our part 1 video. That's the reason I'm just going direct flow. Our objective is basically, I've just mentioned over here, to effectively utilize my communication skills and contribute towards the growth of the organization. And further, after that I'm going to level line, then education, qualification. So side heading, everything should be basically left aligned box format. So basically you have to use this entire box format. So first you're supposed to write your qualification, then you're supposed to write your institution, percentage of marks, then you're supposed to write your year of passing. Qualification. So make sure that whenever you're writing a qualification, you're going to start from your present degree which you have completed. So first I've done my master's or bachelor's. Based on that, I'm going to write it first. Then it comes your PUC. Then it comes here. Last is going to come your SLC. Go in this format. So last is going to be SLC. Then after that PUC, front of that PUC I've just mentioned, and then further it's basically about the graduation. It can be a bachelor's, and further if you want to mention master's, so what if you want to even mention your master's, what do you want to write? You're going to write first your master's, then you're going to write your bachelor's, then you're going to write your PUC and SLC. See, when I'm saying it's master's or basically about your bachelor's, remember carefully, you're going to write your course name. For example, if it is bachelor's, please do not directly mention bachelor's in your qualification side. Mention, for example, if I'm a science student, I'm going to write BSc. If I'm an arts student, I'm going to write BA, and then if I'm a commerce student, I'm just going to write BCom. So BCom or BBA. So it goes in that format. So make sure that you go in this particular type of format. So first you're going to write your present degree which you have completed. So first you're going to write your present degree which you have completed. It can be a master's, for example, MA in so and so institution. Year of passing, MA in English. For example, I can even mention MA in English, institution so and so, percentage of marks 92%, and year of passing this one. And here I mentioned directly over here BHRD. I just mentioned my course in so and so university, Bangalore University, and BHRD is my bachelor course. And then percentage is basically 92%. Year of passing is 2003. That's my present course which I have completed. So make sure that you always write your present course which you have completed first in the first line. Okay. Second line, the next qualification you have completed. It can be your PUC. After that, last is going to be the SLC. Make sure that you always follow this format. That's compulsory and necessary always. So after giving an heading of education qualification, you're going to create a box. In this box, you're going to write the qualification, institution, percentage of marks, and year of passing. And then level line, side heading, a left aligned box format. Use the page space. So it's basically about use this entire box for work experience. Work experience they have asked in this question, particularly 1 year experience for public relation officer, right? So you're going to prepare a box, and this three you're going to divide into three sections over here. First one is about institution, designation, year. Institution, it can be S&M services whatsoever. It can be whatsoever institution which you have worked for, and designation, on what post did you work over there, and then in how many in how many year period tenure did you work over there. It's from 2009 to 2016. I've just mentioned about your S&M services, designation, and then year. And then ABC Company Limited, designation is about assistant professor, and then year I've just mentioned. And then institution, so and so XYZ Enterprise, assistant PR, and then year I mentioned. So make sure that you always follow this particular type of format. You're going to write your work experience. It's going to be left aligned. Always it's going to be left aligned. Institution, designation, and year which you have worked in that particular type of institution. Okay. Further, looking at your year in the work experience, make sure that you go in the proper order. First, it's 2019-16. So how is it going? Last column, it's about 2007 to 2004, 2004 to 2007, and from 2007 to 2009, I worked in ABC Company Limited, and 2009 to 2016. I've just mentioned about S&M services. So guys, make sure that you are writing the year properly, which is aligned. So now I'm starting with 2009 and 2016. Why? You're always supposed to write your current present working year. That's like current present work experience which you had. It can be S&M services I done from 2009 to 2016. That's my current. But previously what I was previously before 2009, I was working in ABC Company Limited, right? So I'm just going that particular type of flow. Make sure that you always flow. You must always have a direct flow about this year. So please don't miss out the year starting from 2009 to 2016. Further, coming back about 2007 to 2009, what did you work? 2004 to 2007, what did you work? So make sure that you have a proper alignment of the year. Similar case applies even for the education qualification. Starting from 2003, presently I've completed it. Before that, I'd completed my PUC in 2000, and then SLC I'd completed in 1998. That's how you're supposed to go in that format. So last is going to be your last year, but SLC what you have completed, PUC basically first about bachelor's, which you have completed bachelor's. Before that, what you had completed your PUC, right? It can be 2000 or whatsoever is your year of passing, and then SLC 1998. It should go always in this particular type of order. Your present working, your present year, and then previous year. Previously means previous year is basically about previously on what you worked, or previously what's your education qualification. After that comes your last SLC. Okay, last year. And then after this, your work experience. After writing in your work experience, institution, designation, year, looking at your last important column is basically about your alignment returns in initial format. So it's basically supposed to follow in this particular type of format. Additional qualification, you can just mention your additional qualification. See, look at over here, additional qualification, language known, other interest and reference. Always this is going to be left aligned. So now I've just mentioned over here postgraduate diploma in human resource management. That's my additional qualification. You can even mention your diploma certificates, or even you can mention your, for example, you have completed an additional language. For example, you have completed a French language. You can mention all the C1, C2 certificates, or whatsoever certificates you have from completing that particular type of exam, DELF exam. Just mention over there your additional qualification, post additional qualification. After that, language known. First I've just mentioned over here English, then comes Hindi, Kannada, and French. This is the format which I've followed over here. So guys, make sure that which language you're very much fluently known that you're going to write it first. Okay, so I know very well English, so that's the reason I just mentioned first English, then further I mentioned Hindi, then I mentioned Kannada and French. It goes in this order. Which language you know very well, very fluently, write it first, and then further Hindi, Kannada, and French. And make sure when you're writing the language known, make sure that when you're writing a language, make sure this language should be known by you very well. Why? Because if, for example, you're just writing Korean, and if you do not know how to write your certain alphabets in Korea, or if you do not know to speak it complete fluently, please don't mention it. Because whenever you're going for a job, whenever you're submitting a resume, it's basic ethics that you mention it properly about whatsoever languages you know properly, because based on it certain companies may be giving you job. Next one, this is just a small reminder for you guys, that's it. Looking at your other interest, reading, painting, you can even mention about yeah, reading, painting, yeah, watching movies, you can even mention that. That's not an issue. Other interest. And then a reference, I've just mentioned over here, Mr. D Silva, manager, S&M services, Bangalore 56002 or 56007, and then Mr. ZYX, CEO, ABC Limited, Kottayam 670008. Okay, so it's basically about reference is nothing but basically when you're giving your resume, they may even try to contact these people. Why? Because they want to know what kind of personality were you there in that previous job. So basically, to understand about yourself more, they may call up these people. So that's the reason that you're supposed to always give up the reference statement. Okay, if you're working as an HR manager in your previous experience, who which person know you very well, or whatsoever organization you have worked. So basically, if you observe over here, Dr. Silva, manager of S&M services, it's already in my work experience. So that's the reason they can directly contact my manager over there. So similar way, any reference person which you would like to give, make sure that, yeah, you have a very very good flow up with you. So that's basically about this is basically plays a very important role in an organization. Before they select you, they try to contact so and so person, which I mentioned reference, because they want to understand what kind of real personality you are and how did you work in the previous organization. That's really important. Next, last is declaration statement. It's going to go like this. It's like, I hereby declare that the details furnished above are true and correct to the best of my knowledge and belief. Check the statement and the comma after one. Okay, so make sure that when you're writing the statement, after I, you're going to put a comma. After writing a comma, I hereby declare that the details furnished above are true and correct to the best of my knowledge and belief. So this is basically nothing but your declaration statement. Make sure that you write always your declaration statement. Please do not mess it out. Okay, just rewinding once again. I hereby declare that the details furnished above are true, correct, and best of my knowledge and belief. And then further, in your left hand side aligned, after this you're going to level line, small line, a level line, and coming back to your further next step is basically about, it's going to be left align your place. It can be Bangalore, date, so and so, write the date. Yeah, that's it. So make sure that it is always left align, and signature should be exactly right align. So you can see your place and date, and looking at your right aligned out, like after the place and date, further completely towards your right aligned, you're supposed to put your signature. That's the reason I mentioned it particularly over here. Kindly go through this entire format once again. It's very important. And further, looking at a quick recap about what all we did on our resume, we wrote a name, address, date of birth, father's name, gender, nationality, contact number, email ID, and then I just left a line. Objective, write an objective. Level line, education qualification. Education qualification, given heading of qualification, institution, percentage of marks, year of passing. Level line, work experience. It can be an institution, designation, and year. Make sure that you make a box and then you write. It's very important. The same format can be followed in all of your exams. Not only exams, even when you're submitting your resume. This is a standard best resume, so please do follow it. And then level 9, additional qualification, language known, other interest, reference, declaration statement, and then further I just written my place date, that's in my left line, and when I'm writing in my right line, I've just written my signature. So guys, this is the entire resume. Looking at a letter which we had discussed before, from address, make sure that everything is on basically a left line. Please do not write anything towards your right. Left line your address, level line, and further your date, level line, address. further level line salutation, dear sir, dear ma'am. Moving back to your uh, left aligned level line, and then write a subject, reference. This entire format, if you guys want so and so job when you're applying, you can even take this entire format which I have written over here. Just small changes you can mention, changed over here, basically about in response to advertisement, I wish to propose my candidature for the post of, so for example I've just mentioned of a public relation officer at the Apollo group of hospitals, right? Even for example, if you're applying for something else, HR manager, just imagine HR manager, you are giving an applications to Infosys company, just imagine. So I wish to purpose my candidature for the purpose for the post of HR manager at the Infosys company, just so and so company. It can be Infosys or any type of company, ABC company limited, something. And then the advertisement interests me because I think I have the training and experience expected of the person that you're looking for. Just write exactly the same, just change two things over here. Just write in the place of public relation, write what kind of job you want, right? For example, it can be HR manager or what's a sales executive at so and so company. So while writing the company, write a particular type of company. Just remember that in the para 1. Para 2, I've indicated the details of my qualification and work experience and then enclosed resume for your consideration. Should you require any further information, I shall be glad to furnish it either in personal or by post. I look forward to hear from you. So make sure that when you're writing, just copy and paste the entire format which I've just written over here. I'm just trying to make it a little more easier for you guys. So guys, try to make sure that you follow this entire format. The advertisement and so and so. What's the advertisement is mentioned in your job application, please do just write it. But this is the small exact type of format which you are supposed to follow presently. This can be applied for your exams, as well as if they're asking you how to write a letter and resume for your exams, or if you want to practically want to submit a resume or a job application for any of the company, please do go ahead with this entire format. This is exactly correct. Please do follow it. So that's all for today's class. Today we are basically discussed about a letter on job application, and further we also discussed about our resume. That's it. Hope to see you in my next video with further interesting topic. Thank you. Love you all so much. Wishing you the most and more day. Goodbye.